whatever Atiku or Obi are discussing should be left for them. But for me, whoever wants to contest for the presidency should submit himself and contest for the presidency. Whoever believes that he's qualified to be president should submit himself for a free and fair primary election. That toughness that we're going to face in the primary will determine the person that has the capacity to face the tough challenge in the general election.
The 2027 endorsement for Tinubu, a democratic process, or a threat to Nigeria's future. In a bold political move, the All Progressives Congress APC governors from Nigeria's Northwest zone have publicly endorsed President Ahmed Bola Tinubu as their candidate for the 2027 presidential election. Barely 2 years into his first term, this endorsement, announced with much fanfare in Kaduna, came with a promise of automatic second-term ticket for APC governors and a thunderous proclamation: there is no vacancy in Aso Rock come 2027.
President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid yesterday received a major boost as the All Progressives Congress party in the Northwest endorsed him as his only preferred candidate for the 2027 presidential election. The endorsement of President Tinubu took place at a meeting which was held at the indoor sports hall of the late Umaru Musa Yaradua Hall, Murtala Square, Kaduna. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, moved the motion for the endorsement, while Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris seconded it. Thus, a vote of confidence was passed on Tinubu for the second term in 2027. The ruling APC governors in the Northwest Zone were also offered automatic tickets for a second term in the 2027 governorship elections. Just as the national chairman of the ruling party, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, and the deputy president of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin, insisted that there is no vacancy in Aso Rock in 2027.
But what does this really mean for Nigeria? Let's talk politics. This public endorsement, led by Speaker of the House Tajuddin Abbas and seconded by Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris, raised critical questions about the state of Nigeria's democracy. Is this an exercise in party unity, or it's an insult to democratic principles? According to Kenneth Okonkwo, a lawyer and spokesperson for the Labour Party in the 2023 election, this is not democracy in action, it's a display of destructive selfishness. He argues that while insecurity ravages the Northwest with fresh reports of killings in Benue State, political elites are more interested in 2027 election than in delivering governance today. He describes the gathering of APC leaders as a cabal of less than 1,000 individuals who claim to speak for over 67 million Nigerians in the Northwest. This endorsement, he insists, is not the voice of the people, it's the voice of sycophancy, where loyalty is bought with promises, contract, and protection from accountability.
Well, let's first of all commence this program by reminding us what Martin Luther King Jr. said. He said everyone must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Our leaders, they are now very known worldwide for making a decision to walk in the darkness of destructive selfishness. You can imagine a people that are consumed by insecurity. This morning, 15 persons have been killed in Agatu, local government of Benue State. In Northwest, they have become a basket case, have the highest number of out-of-school children. They are the poorest. And then, what people busy themselves to do is to be talking about an election that is 2 years from now. Let me tell you, those sycophants that you saw there, they're not up to 1,000. All the political leaders in the Northwest, they're not up to 1,000. The population of Northwest in Nigeria is about 67 million persons. About more than 60 million persons. About 27% of the entire Nigerian population. Democracy is the government of the people, not the government of APC or some sycophants in the Northwest who are not interested in the welfare and security of their people, but in how to acquire power and money. It is shameful. We are not even up to 2 years of this regime, and people are consumed about who will be the next president in the next election. I tell you honestly, I feel disgusted. But like I said, they've made a choice to be walking in the darkness, pure darkness of destructive selfishness. I told you that Northwest has not endorsed Tinubu. As a matter of fact, it's even only politicians of APC, so which they are not up to 1,000 persons. So that is, by the way, I told you Northwest is 60 million persons.
The real cause of governance versus power politics. Nigeria is grappling with rising poverty, insecurity, a broken education system, and a suffocating economy. And yet, instead of tackling these pressing issues, some leaders are busy calculating their next electoral moves. This fixation on 2027 by the APC signals a dangerous trend. Politics has become less about serving the people and more about maintaining power. Okonkwo accuses the political class of forming an association of professional criminals. Individuals already facing corruption allegations, EFCC investigation, and even Supreme Court convictions, who are now being repackaged as men of integrity.
These are people that steal what they don't even need. Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. If you recall, in Delta State, you saw how a drama went on there. Official defection to APC. In that podium that was in Delta State, you will see men who have been convicted by Supreme Court for bribery and corruption in dollars in the name of integrity. You will see men that have been known to be pocketing dollar in their danchiki openly, looking at whether anybody is seeing them. Those same people are still being called by their states to give account of their stewardship as governor, and they are evading by all means unknown to go and answer for what they have done. Their surname is now classified as dollar. And you saw some people there who are invited by EFCC to give account. So there you are seeing association of professional criminals made up of suspects, made up of accused, made up of convicts. These are facts. Are these people the people you think that will give you light of creative?
If true, this suggests that elections in Nigeria are no longer about merit, ideology, or solution. They are about survival and control. This is a broken party system and the test of fine wine politics. Okonkwo didn't spare the opposition either. He called out the Labour Party and other opposition groups for their internal crisis and ideological confusion, quoting a senator who recently defected to the APC. He noted that Nigerian political parties are now distinguished only by the letters of the alphabet.
I have now known the philosophy of APC. In Delta State, their spokesperson came out and mentioned the ideology. They say they are taste of palm wine politicians. The Labour Party ideology, remember, it's a workers' party. And so it is to build a new Nigerian personality that is altruistic, that is transparent and committed to due process of law in all spheres of our economy, that will care for the security and welfare of workers. And I'm talking about Labour Party.
In a poetic metaphor, he described Nigeria's politicians as taste of palm wine politicians, unpredictable, unprincipled, and driven by personal gain, like palm wine that changes taste throughout the day. These politicians shift loyalties based on who offers the sweetest deal at any given time.
And let me tell you something about palm wine. My father was a traditional chief and had a DOC, a palm wine tapper, that brings palm wine for him in the morning every day, the one that the bottom has not reached the ground, always swell. And that palm wine, if you don't refrigerate it, it can change taste more than 20 times in a day. And if you allow it to stay a day or two, it will be so strong you can use it to make local gin, kai kai. So these are politicians that are unstable like water. I guarantee you that a lot of them will work even for the opposition come in the next 2 years because they are taste of palm wine politicians. They say when the taste of palm wine changes, they also change. So you are talking about chameleon.
The Labour Party, he admitted, lacks cohesive ideology just like the APC and PDP. This ideological vacuum means voters are left choosing between personalities, not policies, between political showmen, not statesmen.
And I told you already the ideology of APC, taste of palm wine politics. They said it themselves. Remember, the politicians entered into Labour Party almost 3 months before the time. So whether they would have integrated their own ideologies is something only God knows, because it's only God that knows what ought to have been or what would have been.
Okay,
so that's history now.
Very quick.
And that is about the best I can say on that.
So, the big question now, the way forward is what? Definitely a people's revolution or another missed opportunity. Despite the chaos, Okonkwo offers a glimmer of hope. He advocates for a coalition of the opposition ahead of 2027. Not just to win power, but to restore values of character, knowledge, and integrity. He calls for a political movement where the people, not political merchants, decide Nigeria's future. He insists the next election would not be between APC and PDP, but between Nigerians and corrupt system. However, that depends on whether the opposition can unite and offer a credible alternative. Something they failed to do in 2023, which allowed the minority to capture power.
You know, like I said, I wanted to conclude on the fact that the election in the Northwest is going to be determined by 60 million persons, not by 1,000 sycophants. The way forward is very simple. You have known that I got disgusted with what even the opposition parties are doing. But thank God, the election of 2027 is going to be between the people of Nigeria and the ruling party, because democracy is the government of the people. The way forward is that there is a need. You know, there is a saying that your biggest teacher is your last mistake. In 2023, the opposition made the mistake of dividing themselves, and then a minority party that got about 37% of the vote now became a ruling party. And you can see the destruction they are making. The way forward is that the opposition should come together in a coalition. And when they come together, they will give Nigerians the alternative in integrity, in character, in learning, in knowledge. And I'm telling you, Nigerians will speak. And Nigerians must remember that in Nigeria today, when you vote, you have to defend your vote. So Nigerians must come together. The opposition must come together, set their house in order, and then take out this government that has become a scourge on the Nigerian people.
Final thoughts. What is the implication for Nigeria? The implication of this early endorsement are stark. Democracy is being hijacked by party light long before the people can speak. Governance is being sacrificed on the altar of political ambition. Corruption is being recycled, not punished. And voters are being sidelined. Their voices replaced by political choreography designed to protect the powerful. This is not just about 2027, it's about whether Nigerians can or will still claim to be a democracy, or whether it's sliding into a one-party state controlled by political godfathers or moneybags. Nigerians must ask, do we want 4 more years of the same, or do we want change driven by unity, integrity, and true public service? The choice is ours, and 2027 starts now, not with endorsement, but with accountability. To join the conversation, drop your opinions in the comment section. Let's talk politics.